I'm Annemarie Berrett from the London 6th Ward. One of my favorite titles of the temple is Mountain of the Lord, and I think I love metaphors, and I feel like that metaphor is particularly apt for me because climbing mountains and going to the temple feels very similar. I also love how in the scriptures the Lord often has the prophets go up into the mountain to converse with him. I've loved hiking mountains ever since I was young. It's not always the most enjoyable experience on the climb up as you are huffing and puffing and the elevation is getting higher and higher, but one of my favorite parts always is getting to the top of the mountain and experiencing the view. The perspective is always mind shifting, and I am always in awe of how, when I look down at the valley, how small and insignificant everything seems compared to where I'm at. And I find that once I'm at the top, I have a greater clarity on where I've been because I can see the trail and everything below me, but I also have a much greater confidence in where I'm going because I just climbed a mountain and I can see everything. I think the perspective at the top of the mountain is very similar to what I experienced in the temple. There have been many times in my life where I've felt physical pain or even sometimes emotional and spiritual pain, and I'll go to the temple, and as I'm sitting in the quiet and serene kind of reverent place, my mind is swirling through all of those anxious thoughts and some of the challenges that I'm struggling with at that time. And sometimes it's not the most comfortable dealing with all of those thoughts in such a quiet way, but I almost have never experienced an overwhelming spiritual impression or felt like an overwhelming powerful feeling, but I always do feel when I come out of the temple or I step off of the mountain of the Lord, that greater perspective that I got similar to when I'm hiking a mountain. Suddenly my challenges that I'm going through seems so much more insignificant, and I can tackle them much easier. And I think one of the reasons why is because in the temple I'm reminded of who I am, which is I'm a daughter of God and I love him and he loves me. And that reminder of my divine nature gives me so much more clarity and an eternal perspective on everything that I'm going through, but also a greater confidence in being able to tackle those challenges head on. In his house, I find confidence and clarity.